Every January, they tell us to declutter and clean, take everything out and organize. But you know what? You end up with a lot bigger mess and you want to quit halfway through. That's how that New Year, New Me movement started to feel. So I quit. Now, I don't know about you, but I got tired of switching gears from the holidays right into how I wasn't good enough. What did I need to fix about myself this year? And then set goals accordingly. The January reset or the big house declutter, some kind of big overhaul that was going to make me better this year. At this age, I feel like who I am. I want to make small adjustments. I want to start the year a little gentler. Yes, of course, you're going to have to look through things and see what might be expired and no longer serving you, and add in some good habits that are going to make your days better. But I keep asking myself, how do I want to feel? Do I want to feel like I'm white knuckling my way through the year, or do I want to feel more present and calm? Do I want to have more fun? Do I need to make space for just me? Asking yourself those questions feels a whole lot better than trying to reinvent yourself every year. Once I started asking better questions, the big overhauls just didn't make sense anymore. I think that's why in midlife, the new year, new me just doesn't fit anymore. We've been there, done that. Goodness knows we've been on enough diets or new boot camps or fitness, or that, I didn't ever do it, but that 75 hard, or decluttering our whole house. I'm going to organize everything. I think we're just to the point where we don't really want that anymore. Those big goals, yes, we know we could do them, but we want life to feel a little more light and fun. That's when I started asking myself what I wanted out of this year. My diet's already pretty good. I like my exercise. I don't need to whip my body into shape. What I do want is more fun. I knew I needed to be intentional about making new friends, and I'm already started on that path. I wanted to have more intentional time with my husband, Brady. I wanted to have more quiet time in the morning. It's a little bit of a challenge because I did just get a puppy, but we'll get there eventually. I wanted more space to just be me and explore new hobbies. All of those sound like fun things to work towards. I don't want my life to feel like such big work. I've put in a lot of self improvement time in the past. And this year, I just feel like I want it to just be more meaningful. I want life to feel sweeter. And so that's how I'm adjusting. I don't need to reinvent myself, and neither do you. Now, as a habit nerd, I know how to set a big goal and break it down into smaller habits that are going to slowly make you have progress to the finish line, to that improvement that you want. But this year I'm doing it differently. I heard this idea on one of my favorite podcasts, the Big Boo podcast. It's two Southern ladies just chatting away, and I've listened to them for a long time. They just make me smile, and they set low level goals. Now I know our Gen X brains are like, oh, we can't be lazy. We can't go for low level goals. But yes, we can. They're not giving up. They're goals that can actually be finished, maybe even in a short afternoon. Things that are going to make our days or our lives just a little bit better. Some examples of that might be finally dropping off those donations that have been rolling around in the back of your trunk, working towards getting in shape-ish, maybe taking an extra walk here and there, doing something little each day to improve your fitness. Get your house a little cleaner, maybe clean out a drawer, look through one drawer of your refrigerator and look at the expiration dates. Something little that makes you feel like I accomplished something, but it wasn't too hard. Maybe drink your coffee slowly, taking a deep breath, really enjoying that taste instead of just trying to rush through your morning. Now, one of my intentions this year was to make new friends and to have more fun. So my low level goal towards that is saying yes a little more often. As an introvert who loves to be in her pajamas by 9 p.m., this is just a little stretch. I recently saw in a neighborhood Facebook group some ladies getting together to play Mahjong. I've wanted to find a group for a long time. I knew one person, I didn't know the rest of the group, that I made myself say yes. And I'm so glad I did, because I can see that that's going to start building my community. Another friend called to see if I wanted to go to a musical. So we bought the tickets, and that's coming up soon. I went to lunch with some of the friends I've made at the gym. I'm saying yes more often. I still have to give myself a little pep talk before I go in, because I don't really know these women as well as I do some of my closer friends. But every time I do, I'm glad I did. And I'm starting to build that community that I really want. Now, as far as declutter or any of that, my low level goal is in my closet. When I buy something new, I donate something out of it. Just like when my girls were all getting stuffed animals, it seemed like we were drowning in stuffed animals. Every time they got a stuffed animal, I made them choose one to donate. And that kind of kept it under control. I need to do the same, so then I don't ever have to do a giant closet clean out. I stay on top of it. I'd love to know what you think maybe some of your low level goals are. These are goals that make life better, not harder. And this was just what I was missing. Now, there's a big trend this year on Instagram. I've seen it, and maybe Facebook, where you compare your 2016 version of yourself to your 2026. Well, I'll tell you what, my 2016 version, there's not many pictures of me, because it was not a good year for me. I had two teenagers in high school, one in college. Perimenopause was kicking my butt. I was way overweight, exhausted. I had a full-time job and a part-time job as a youth director. I was barely keeping it together. And I just look at that picture of me and I just want to give her a hug. I was trying so hard to hold it together and take care of everyone else that I figured out I didn't know how to take care of myself. I thought I just needed to figure out that next diet or the next overhaul that would whip myself into shape. But once my dad died at the end of the year, I realized I couldn't do that. And I finally learned that those slow, simple changes were what really lasted and what really made the big difference. And over the last 10 years, that's been my approach. That way I don't have to be reinventing myself every year. I just make slow tweaks, little doable goals that are going to make my life better, getting my energy back, making me feel good about who I am. We don't need fixing. That's the good news. Let's slowly enter this 2026, gradually making little tweaks and adjustments that are going to make our lives that much sweeter. So I don't completely empty out the fridge anymore to organize it, or pull out all my clothes to organize my closet. I clean one shelf, one section of my closet, one small adjustment, and then add in fresh things as I go. That's progress without the mess. If you've ever thought to yourself, my life is good, so why do I want more? That's exactly what I talked about in my last video. That one really sets the stage for setting those low-level goals to make your year better.